Grab a, grab a glass. Pour yourself your favorite thirst-quenching liquid. Cuddle up with your soul. Relax your inner being as you sit amongst greatness inside the Arthur's Lounge with your host, the one and only Arthur Hezzy.
Welcome everyone to the Arthur's Lounge. This is Arthur Hezzy, and I'm on here with the Drew Podcast tonight. And tonight we got a great show for you guys. But first, I want to introduce my beautiful co-host, Miss Miranda, Mind Reader. How are you tonight? So what's going on?
Can you hear me?
I hear you now. I hear you.
Okay, awesome. So I'm super excited for this show tonight. I'm super excited to be on the show, period. Thank you for having me as a co-host.
Of course.
I'm looking forward to this, in our experience and, meeting new authors. Your books are amazing. So I can't wait to see what other people have in store.
All right. This is the brand new episode. It's been offline for like a year now. And we got a whole new group of podcasters on the Crew Podcast. And man, this is awesome. And for this to be my first night, my first show, I'm just grateful, man, that this guy right here, because he interviewed me on his podcast a while back. And man, he does so many things. He got a fragrance line. He got children's books. He got all kinds of types of stuff he's doing. And he's the man with the plan. I want to introduce to y'all Dashawn McWay.
Hey, what's going on? Thank you guys for having me. I'm truly honored.
What's up? How are you tonight?
I'm doing well.
All right. I'm Arthur Hezzy, and this is my co-host, Miranda.
Nice to meet you. I'm so honored to be here with you tonight.
Thank you very much.
So before we get started, give us a little background on yourself and what you do.
So my background starts with poetry. I got into business actually starting a t-shirt company, and then I sold the t-shirt company, went into doing poetry, started my own self-publishing company, and from there I started financing and bankrolling myself and started coming out with different companies under my publishing company umbrella hat.
Now you doing all this now for newcomers and for new authors. You had that drive and competitiveness that I see. How was you able to market and promote yourself to get to being able to bankroll yourself and to do all these different things?
So there is a book called How to Publicize Your Book by Jacqueline Duvall. And in that book, she talks about guerrilla marketing, which means never stop talking about your book under any circumstance. It doesn't matter if the book is 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 15 years old, never stop talking about it. Because if you stop talking about your products or your merchandise, people will forget you. So from there, I started like at 23. And from there, I just was doing guerrilla marketing. My whole conversation would be nothing but my books.
Wow. And so you got your books out. You're 23. Now, you're not the normal 23-year-old. You got your book out. And, the other 23-year-olds, they're just like, no, I don't want to do that. How did you keep yourself just motivated and striving to this is what I want to do. This is what I want out of life. And building on that. And plus, as I see you're married and having a family, what made you just stick to your goals and determine to keep that drive?
So one of the biggest things for me at 23, I came out of Florida, and I guess you could say my fear was becoming homeless. I would see the homeless people in Florida, and I was like, man, if I keep on just doing whatever I want to and not stay focused, I'm gonna end up becoming homeless. At 23, I didn't have a job, right? My mom, she put me out, but she put me out under good reasons, right? She just wanted
Okay.
me to, she wanted to push me out there to say, hey, you got to figure out what you're going to do. So once she pushed me out, I went to go stay with a friend. And then my friend was like, hey, what is it that you want to do? You really need to focus on what it is. Like, what do you want to become out of your life? And I said, listen, man, I would love to be like a well-known author. He was like, well, what do you want to write? And I said, well, I'm good at poetry. So from there, I stayed focused on that one company, which was that publishing company. I stayed focused on that, and I let everything else fall by the wayside. But having a family later on, I realized that when I turned 40, I did not want to just be bouncing all over the place. I wanted to have like a nice steady stream of income.
Wow, that's amazing. So, Miss Co-host, what do you have to add?
Okay, so for someone younger or maybe even your age, what kind of advice do you have for them starting off? What can you give them? Like, are there any pointers, like as far as pointing them into the right direction? So if they want to publish a book, like, what are the steps? Like, can you help people with things? Like, do you help people with things like that?
I
Are you
do. I do.
interested in that?
Yeah, I do help people. I also have a couple of YouTube streams or some podcast streams talking about it. But let's say you didn't get an opportunity to go through my videos. One of the first things that you want to do is try to figure out if you want to go through the traditional route, which is going to a publisher, submitting your manuscript to a publisher, or if you want to self-publish. If you submit your manuscript to a traditional publisher, they're going to tell you, hey, this is what the criteria is. This is how much of a percentage that we're going to give you, which is pretty much pennies on a dollar. But when you self-publish, you become the publisher, and then you get to obtain most of your royalties and your price overhead anyway. So if I was to tell someone, hey, how do you get started? I honestly would say it'd be better if you self-publish to find out what the traditional publisher would do, since you're trying to be in their shoes. So self-publish first, especially with today's time, you could pretty much edit your own material, but self-publish first to just see how dedicated you're going to be to talking about your book every day.
And you
Very
know
wise
what's funny?
advice.
And you know what's funny about that? Like I take from that because like when I first published my first book, I paid like $1,300. I'm like, man, and I thought they was going to market and promote me and everything. And they was like, well, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh man, what do I do next? You got this book, so what do you do next? And I know from your standpoint, oh man, I checked your book out on Amazon too, boy. Hey, what made you get into? That what's the name? What's the Enigma without the sex? And you on the cover. I'm like, okay. So what made you do that book right there? Give me a little insight on that book.
All right, man. Listen, I had a very, very interesting past, man. I used to have a lot of fun. But most of those books derive from my past relationships with a few women, and I got the opportunity. To create a condom line, a wine line, and also a cologne line. So from that, man, I just one of my friends was telling me, hey man, you better talk about these stories. No one's never going to believe this. So that's kind of how it got started.
And that's the funny thing because I write about my past and everybody believes, no, that's you now. I'm like, dude, I don't do nothing now. I'm chill. But they're like, that is you in the book. Yeah, it's me in the books, but that's past, and it's great to just get that out there, man, and let the world know. So what's some new things you got going on?
So, well, the newest thing I have going on right now, I'm getting ready to start an investment firm. I know how to invest in talent. I know how to invest in products.
Okay.
So the investment firm is probably going to launch here in like 2 weeks or so. So that's the newest thing that I have going on. But I'm focused on the cologne. I'm focused on the wine. They're very exclusive products that I have.
Okay.
We're still thinking about getting them into retail stores. But right now, keeping the money to myself has been working out pretty good for me.
Okay. I will be standing tall. I got a little investments I want to start doing, but it's no, it started from ground up. And Miss Co-host, go
I'm
ahead.
definitely interested in the wine. And also, okay, yes.
Okay. Hey, show it again. Let the world see that. Okay, y'all see that, right?
So this right here is the Say Hello wine. This actually started from the book Say Hello to Me, which is a men's and women's self-improvement book. So I was so confident in that book that the information I was giving, the information I was giving out you would get with the woman or the man that you desire. So I did an anniversary wine. This is an anniversary wine. It's exclusive. It's a $200 bottle, but it's worth
Oh
it.
man, I love it. We got a player on here now. Now let me stop. Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, and going from there, you know, a lot of people, you know, they struggle with wanting and starting to become an author. You have any insights, anything that you could tell them when they want to begin, or if they want to start beginning writing, or just putting that work out there?
Yeah, listen, if you have a great story and you know that people will gravitate to it, you know, go ahead and stay focused on it and get it out there. I think back to my very first time doing an interview, and I just wanted people to hear what I had to say because I knew I had something important. I knew I had a good story. You know, I knew I can make people laugh and keep people entertained. So if you feel that you can do that, then you know, get on out there and do it. It's nothing to it. We're all here to communicate with each other in the first place. So get out there
Yes.
and talk about yourself as much as possible.
And I find it awesome the information that you give out. Plus, you have your own podcast, you have your own clothing line, your freight. How do you stay motivated to keep doing it? Because you know, some days I wake up, I'm like, man, I don't want to do this no more. And then it's like, well, I need to do it, you know?
Yeah.
How do you keep that drive, that determination?
Again, I always think about that whole homeless theory that I have. If I don't keep myself busy, man, I'll find myself just idle and not doing what I'm supposed to. But when you have a family, that kind of keeps you focused too. You know, I never
Yeah,
wanted to hear my wife or my daughter say, "Hey, I'm hungry." If anything, I want them to say, "Hey, where y'all want to go?" You know, tonight. So
yeah.
that's what keeps me focused. And also, one of the biggest things that I had considered to be a success to keep me focused was I always wanted to go anywhere I wanted to eat. So I got
Mm,
to keep on working because I just say, well, I randomly just want to go somewhere and get something to eat. So that's what keeps me focused.
yeah. And, you know, I'm right there where you at today. You know, I don't want to have to struggle just to get by. If I want to go somewhere, I want to go somewhere.
Mhm.
You know, you have bumps in the road, but at the same time, you working for something that's bigger than who you are. You know, and that's the drive and compassion of the game. And for me, being a writer, you got to have passion. You got to want to do it because we all got stories to tell. You know, it's
Right.
how you want your story to be told. And man, I'm honored to have you on this platform tonight. Is there anything you want to say to the guests, to everybody who's tuning in right now?
Well, I think your co-host Miranda, you had a question. You was talking about the children's books. I know she had a question that she wanted to get
Hmm.
out there.
Yes. So, what my job definitely is to make sure I leave a legacy for something for generations to come so that my daughter has something, not having to get it out the mud, but she's going to know like the value of a dollar. We're going to teach her all that stuff. But right now, books are important, and books that represent people with her skin color or people that make it with her in mind, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference. So can you tell me a little bit about your books, your children books?
Yeah, so the children's books, they're totally for families, right? It's not, I know it's people typically look at Black authors as if we only write Black children's books. That's not the case. That's part of the reason why I became successful is because it's not just the Black children's book, it's a commercial book. But Anaya's books, Anaya's adventures are very fun, loving. They're very important for a mother and a father to sit down with their child to explore the illustrations. So if you're looking for a great read for children between like infancy up until about 7, 8 years old. Perfect books, perfect books. They're classics. So I'll show you what one of them looks like.
Right.
This is Anaya's Adventures. This book here is a 5 book series. So all 5 children's books that we came out with are inside of this book right here. So
Wow.
go check it out. It's a really great read. You can find them in Barnes and Nobles, Walmart. You can find them anywhere. But go to babyauthors.com. Stick with me first.
Right. That, hey, yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be checking that out. I'll leave a review also.
Hey, hey, support, support, support. Man, I don't want to hold you too long because I know you're a busy person, man. I'm so thankful for you coming on the show tonight. And I'll be talking with you soon. I'm gonna hopefully be interviewing on your show in another couple of weeks. So man, just thank you again for coming on the show tonight. I
Thank
appreciate that.
thank you so much for having me. I'm very honored to talk to you guys.
All right, thank you. So, how can we connect? Got a question for you before you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
They want to know how can we connect with you.
Okay. Yeah. Go to DarshawnMcAway.com. Exactly how you see it. My name, DarshawnMcAway.com. Contact page. But if excuse me, I always give out my number. Um, it's my business line. So if you it's 918-552-0278. Goes directly to me. Um, that's the best way.
All right, thank you again, Darshawn, for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you for having me.
All right. I hope everybody got that 918-552-0278, Deshaun McKay. All right, we're going to take a short break and we're going to bring in our next author.
Grab a glass.
I love that introduction.
He leads me beside still waters. He restoreth my soul. When you become a believer, your spirit is made right. But sometimes the soul doesn't get the notice. It has a hole in it.
Deliver me.
Basic Black, After Dark, an all-new podcast show with your host, Black Diamond.
Like a queen upon her throne. It was the sweetest thing I've known.
Welcome back, y'all, to the Authors Lounge, presented to you by the Crew Podcast. I am here with my co-host, Miss Miranda.
Hello.
You still there?
I'm here, of course.
All right. Now, next up, man, this guy right here, man, he is something, and he's an intriguing author. You know, you can't just pinpoint what he does in the literature world. You know, he does. Man, his stories are mysteries and dramas, and him being from the Bronx, man, it's just amazing how he puts his stories together. But I'm going to bring him to the platform so he can explain to you all about what he does. Mr. Anthony Pathfinder, how are you tonight?
I'm good, brother. What's up? How you doing?
All right. We meet again.
Yes, sir. All right. Yes,
Oh,
sir.
man. Yeah, welcome to the Authors Lounge, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. Doing great.
Okay. I'm Arthur Hazzy. This is my co-host, Miss Miranda Wiley. But first, before we get started on that, we want you to give a little background on what you do and introduce yourself to the world.
Yeah, well, I was raised in the Bronx, New York. Bronx and Brooklyn.
Okay.
Started out. It wasn't a great start, man.
But I feel you.
Yeah, it wasn't a great start. You know, went through, the grind, giving my parents a whole lot of. But I fixed it, got it together. Then I just started I had a love for poetry because as a kid growing up, I saved comic books.
Yeah.
So, I read the Nancy Drews, the Tom Sawyers, the Hardy Boys. I read all that stuff. So poetry stuff was always in me. And as I got older, even though I was doing other things, then I got into, the job world. I was still writing poetry until one day I just decided to, you know what? Let me see what I can do with this. Yeah. And that's how the journey started.
You know what's funny? You talk about that journey and that that moment before you started to do something different.
Uh-huh.
And I can relate to that because at the same moment, like I grew up reading Nancy Drew and the Tom Sawyers.
There you go. Yeah.
Because that's all we had to read.
Correct.
And still going through that, like you said, that stump in the road, that adulthood stage.
Yeah.
What was that shining moment that said, "Look, I'm going to do differently, and I'm going to do this"?
To be honest with you, it was a tragic incident. After my older brother passed away, and he didn't just get sick.
Mhm.
He didn't just get sick, if you know what I mean. So
Yeah.
that woke me up.
Yes.
It woke me up, and my mom, knowing that I was always a great student in school, always.
Yeah.
And she basically sat me down, spoke to me, and said, "Is this where you want to go, or you want to go this way?" Because and I tell a lot of folks, I was in my room,
Yeah.
and I was on the bed, and I just started thinking, and I was like, you know what? She's right. What am I doing with myself?
Yeah.
And that's how the journey began for me, as far as listening to certain things. I mean, it was said to me repeatedly, but I kept
Yes.
ignoring it, until that tragic incident took place. And that's when I said, you know what? This is it, man. I started going on auditions. I had the acting bug. I went and got headshots. I was also a student of the Black Theater of Harlem. I was taking acting lessons there as well.
Wow.
It was like a new beginning for me, man. It was like an epiphany.
Yes.
I just started doing things that I knew that was me.
Yes. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And also because I grew up in a culture where certain things, it's just, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was just stupid.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, I can agree with you on that. I can agree with you on that.
It was just stupid, because I grew up in a Jamaican culture, right?
Okay.
And I was involved in certain things, like I said, the acting. I was even involved in like what you would call modern dance, taking lessons and stuff. In the Jamaican culture, you say those things, they look at you as if you've lost your,
Yeah. Why are you in that play? What are you doing?
Exactly. It's like totally different, So
Mhm.
I had to get rid of those things, man, and stop looking at things that way. And like I said, once I did that, my mom and the journey started, man. The journey started.
Oh, awesome. So, how many books you have published?
So far, 13.
13.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna get you to name all 13 of them off because
Oh, you put me on the spot, man.
you the author here, so I'm interviewing you. This is your time to shine. This is your brand right here, buddy.
All right. Let's get it up there. All right. There's well, luckily I have a few in front of me, so yeah. Yeah, I can draw on that. Okay. There's Fair Game.
Okay.
There's On Leash.
Mm-hmm.
There is A Rainy Affair. Untold Tales. Seeing Eyes. Deadly Consequences. My God, you put me on the spot, man. I just said Fair Game, right?
Yes, you did. You did.
Okay. New Blood. My God, that's like what, 9, right?
Yep. You there. You're almost.
I'm almost there, right?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Rebirth.
Mhm.
Okay. I think I'm stumped right now.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So, tell us a little bit about the books that you write. What do
Okay.
they detail, and what are they mostly about?
Okay. I'm not specific to any genre of writing
Mhm.
because I consider myself a writer.
Yes.
So I've written street lit, sci-fi, paranormal, drama, action, etc. Red Rose. That's one I forgot. Red Rose. My first title, which is Fair Game. I was actually signed to a small traditional publishing house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, to a 2-book deal. They gave me a upfront bonus, and I thought that was it. They gave me a couple $1,000, man. I was like, yeah. I was like, this is so cool, you know. Yeah. And after that was completed, they wanted me to re-sign for a 3-book deal. But by then, I had learned the ins and outs of the business.
Yes.
So I wanted to cut out the middleman.
Ah.
Yeah. So I said no to that, and I started self-publishing.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to go to the Barnes and Noble. I had to go to these people. I had to go to the distributors. And back then in Brooklyn, there was a place called Culture. I think it was called Culture Plus. It was one of the largest distribution company in the country. I had to go to speak to these people and set up stuff. So I had to do everything on my own. And it was nail biting at times. I got it. I figured it out. And I started from there. And I just started writing all types of stories. I'm not a street lit guy.
Yeah.
I've taken stuff from where I grew up. And, yeah, you know, and
see, that's how I am. I hate when I'm labeled as a certain kind of author.
Correct.
I think more I like to be labeled as what I'm thinking in my mind at the time.
Right.
I'm giving you a story of my life. I'm giving you a story of how I see things, or what I've went through, or what I'm coping with, or what I'm going through. I don't see it as street lit. I see it as coming from my mind.
Yeah.
You know.
And
because go ahead.
No, I was saying that for me, I love street lit. I do read them, but for me, if you're a writer, I want to see you expand.
Yes,
I want to see your versatility. I want to see more than just this that is taking place. Because like you said, you take your experience, and I've put my experience and the people I've come in contact with in my, the Seeing Eyes, which is a sci-fi story. It's a sci-fi story.
I love it.
Yeah, but I've taken situations and just manipulate them and put them in a story, because you have to have that mind. Yeah,
definitely.
I love how well-rounded you are. You have a little something for everybody. I feel like I love that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and I love your drive and your effort to make it work, no matter what, at all costs. You figured out a way. I think that's a beautiful story.
Thank you. Because you know what? As the gentleman had said earlier, sometimes as Black writers and authors, we tend to pigeonhole ourselves to certain genres where we're here in this cocoon and we stay there.
Yes, but you know what's so funny? I can't put myself in them kind of genres, because when I grew up, I never read them kind of genres. Correct. They wasn't available for me to read at the time. We only maybe had one, and his genre, Richard Wright, Alex Haley, they didn't write street lit books.
No, they did not. You
know, so that's all I had. So I learned how to expand my mind. Like, I mean, I'm not knocking those street lit writers, but
correct.
In telling a story, they taught me how to tell a story.
Yes. Because,
and that's why I see your book set. When I look at over some of your novels, I see you telling that story because I got a cousin, he loves science fiction. You got a science fiction book.
Yeah, I do. And I'm working on another one right now. Yeah, I do.
You know, and that's the side that some people don't see as an author, as a person. We have these things, these itches that we like, and we try to explain to you. That's who we are, what we like, and I appreciate that for you. So, where can we find your books?
They're available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Walmart, um, iTunes, iBook. Yeah, you can
Okay.
find them
Okay.
there, and you can find them at anthonypathfinder.com as well. That's my site, anthonypathfinder.com.
Okay. So other than writing books, what do you got planned for the next couple of months coming up?
Okay, I just started a publishing company,
Wow. Okay.
East South Publishing LLC. Okay, and so far, I must say, we have published 3 authors as well already, and we have at least 4 others that we're going. They're dealing with us, but the books haven't been published as yet. But they are our clients. Um, yeah, and it's legit. It's not like it's one of those publishing companies where it's an LLC like any other mainstream company out there. My partner and I started it, and it's going great. Like I said, I'm just trying to establish myself in this business. I just recently touched base with the distribution company um, to get these things all over the country and worldwide and stuff like that. So, and pretty much I'm starting a podcast like you with 2 friends of mine in Norway, two
Okay.
female friends of mine. One is black, one is white, and it's going to be about diversity.
Well,
How
come on over to the Drew podcast. I'm recruiting tonight. Come on over to the Crew
Okay.
podcast. Yeah, have all the freedom in the world. You know, you gotta have Puffy dancing all in your video. You know how that's
You taking it back, right? You took it back. You took it
See, they
back.
don't know about them, shit. Like say you don't want your producer dance. No, I'm just playing. No, man.
All up in the video. All up in the video.
Oh man, that was the times then, what it man.
Yes,
That was
yes,
the
it
times.
was. Yes, it was.
Man, I want to see if my co-host got anything for you.
All
Is she
right.
still there?
So, what can we expect next? What's the latest thing that you've been working on as far as writing?
Okay, I am working on 2 projects right now. Um, one is called "Don't Look Back." I'm 200 pages in. I don't know. You may have seen the cover on Instagram. It's a couple,
Yes,
a black
yes.
couple. Yeah, so that's
Oh, I
another.
love that cover.
Hey, I've gotten a lot of compliments on it. And to be honest with you, I actually know these people. I know them.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm working on that. And I'm also working on The Woman in Compartment 13.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. It's a thriller. It's a
Nice.
thriller. Yeah. So I'm like about 160 pages in because for me, I love to write so much that I love the game. I love everything about it. So to be honest with you, sometimes I'll be writing like 2 or 3 at the same time.
Yes,
But
definitely.
what I do is I make sure that I have a notebook for each title, and I'll go from there. Like today, I'll go on Don't Look Back. Tomorrow it will be The Woman in Compartment 13, and so
Okay.
on and so forth. I just go back and forth because that's how I work, and I usually work by my covers. I cannot start writing until I have a cover.
I like that. I like that. Usually, I start writing and then I got to find the cover because I don't know what I want to go to. But I like
I'm
that.
the opposite.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And
All right.
for you, it's really a passion. I can tell. It's
Oh,
definitely a passion. Anytime you can pick up something and like do something else, most people have to focus on one thing at a time. So that shows that you really do love it. I can tell. So I'm very interested in reading what you have because I just can feel your energy, and it's just like, yeah, I definitely want to see what he's about.
because you know what? You brought up a good point, a valid point, because a lot of people get into this business, as you guys know, and they think it's a get rich quick scheme. It's like,
Right.
yeah, oh, I dropped this book, I'll be paid.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No, the traditional publishing houses, they don't want you, because what most people fail to realize, these people sign people who can generate money.
Yeah. Yep.
If you cannot generate money for them, they don't want to sign you. And first, they tell you that you have to have a what you call it. You know what I'm talking about. You have to have someone who can bring you into the fold.
Yep.
You can't just go by yourself. Okay, you have to get this agent. Okay, and once you get this agent, and if you're not someone who is well known, you're going nowhere.
That's right.
So
I have a question.
sure.
So, when are okay, so I'll ask two questions. Your darkest time, like when you thought that nothing was going right, like nobody was feeling what you were putting down, or, like really picking up or wanting to, show
mean like-
you some love, basically. Like, what did you do? Like, what made you keep going? What did you tell yourself? Because I know that you had some ups and downs for sure.
Correct. Okay. I'll tell you, it's simple. It's simple, but it's like Easy said as well, and the gentleman earlier. You have a story to tell.
Yeah.
You have a story to tell, and you have stories to tell. And I believe you mentioned this as well. It's a legacy. It's like you just know that you have to do it. It's just something for me. Okay, prime example. My first book, I showed it to a friend that I grew up with. And when he saw it, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, "Oh, you didn't write this."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It kind of hit me in a type of way, because this is my guy. I grew up with him. And for him to say that to me, it kind of like, gave me this outlook. And the question that you asked, of course, there were times when I felt like, you know what? Is this what the sales are not coming as I would like. I wasn't getting any help because, I don't want to go off track, but listen, let me just add this. When I got in the game, and to this day, I noticed that us, Black authors, sometimes we have a tendency, like we don't want to help each other. I've experienced it, I've seen it. So for me, what I do is I'm always reaching out. And the one guy that basically reached out to me and dropped some jewels on me was Quan.
Ooh.
Quan, he writes Street Lit.
Mm-hmm.
We had a conversation once, and he just told me, he was like, "Anthony," and the conversation wasn't face to face. It was via email. And he just told me, "Listen, you do what you have to do, regardless of what anyone else says. You do what you have to do," and that has never left me. So yes, there were moments when I was down.
And you know what, Mr. Perry, it's so funny because like people think that you're being snobbish or you showing off, but like for me, writing is all that I have left of me. This is what I do good. This is me. If I always talk about it, that's my path. This is me. This is my life. And I might get in a relationship. Oh, you talk about the book. Well, this is who I am now. If you don't like it, then you can step, because this is who I am. This is who I'm going to be. This is going to be my breadwinner. At the end of the day, when they see that, oh, that's you do this, you do. Oh, wow. No, this is who I am. I'm passionate. I'm not being snubbed. This is the one thing in life that I can do good.
Exactly.
That's that fire in me. Like, I'm gonna post this. I'm gonna keep posting because I know I'm good. I know I can do this. and you feel bad sometimes when somebody's like, oh, you did this or you did, like, dude, this is who I am, you know. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you saying that, man. That's goes a long way.
Because you know what I see? I see, like, if you have a love for something, if you have a
Mhm.
love for it, you have to give it your all.
Yeah.
This author business, writing business, for some people, it's a hobby.
Mm.
For some of us, it's our life.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's not a hobby. It's
Definitely.
it's our life. So what we write about,
Mhm.
it's about us. It's
Yes.
what we saw.
Yes.
It's who we interacted with, and then at the
Mhm.
same time, your creativity has to come in. You have to make up all
Definitely.
these stories and create all this stuff, and you go from there. Nothing is wrong
Yeah,
with that.
that's right.
Nothing is wrong with that. You got to give the people something to love.
Yes, definitely. Man, I want to thank you for coming on the show tonight.
My
Is there
man,
anything that you would like to leave with the guests and the people that's listening and tuning in?
I always tell them, whatever your passion is, go for it. Never stop believing. Go for it. And whatever it is, just keep going at it. If you're an up and coming writer, write something every day, even if it's a paragraph. Even if it's a paragraph, just keep building and building, because as the saying goes, Rome was not built in one day. So, yeah, folks can check me out on social media, AnthonyPathfinder.com, Anthony Pathfinder on Instagram, Anthony Pathfinder on Facebook, and my books and my authors' works, or on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, etc., etc.
All right, man. I want to thank you for tuning in.
Hey.
My co-host, what you doing?
I'm here. I'm listening.
Man,
I'm speaking. I'm
I just
not
want
interrupting.
I just want to say, man, this has been an awesome kickoff to the first show tonight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome,
man.
man.
Loving this,
Two
man.
powerful Black
Appreciate the love.
Americans, in the house, man, sharing our experience, strength, and hope with the world about writing and everything. And that's what the Authors Lounge is all about, man. Just throwing y'all them gems on how to get to the next level. And the Crew podcast, building with all these podcasters, man. It was awesome, man. I just want to say, man, I want to thank you all. And co-host, you have anything you want to leave with the world?
I just think it's awesome. You learned today that if you have something that you want to do, you need to go for it. Like, don't listen to anybody. If they're negative, don't listen to it. Go for it, because you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. Everybody today has showed you. Every guest today has showed you that if you put your mind to it, it's capable. It can happen. It can happen. So, being in Barnes and Noble, that's heavy. Amazon, that's heavy. And he did it all on his own. Like, hey, like, there's so much to learn. So for me, like, I took, okay, that's more drive for me. I always take other people's story and I let it fuel my fire and make my why even more, just supercharged.
Yes. Thank you. I want to thank Bew Ward, the Mr. Poet, who did my intro to the Authors Lounge, man. Another shout out to you. Shout out to Anthony and Monroe for doing my cover to my book, The Pastor's Son, which is coming out soon. We got the Crew podcast. Anthony Pathfinder's in the house. Man, I just want to say, everybody, y'all, welcome to the Authors Lounge, the Crew podcast. Have a blessed night, and we love you.
Appreciate the love. Good one.
Yes, sir.
All righty. All right.
Grab a glass. Pour yourself your favorite thirst-quenching liquid. Cuddle up with your soul. Relax your inner being as you sit amongst greatness inside the Authors Lounge with your host, the one and only Arthur Hezzy.